You know what it is. That's right. It's time to talk money with your money nerd and financial coach. Now, tighten those purse strings and open those ears. It's the Money Talk with Tiff podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Money Talk with Tiff podcast. I'm super excited because on the line I have a local entrepreneur. Falon Thomas is the founder and CEO of Onyx Ocean Technologies, Inc., a software, mobile app, and website development company. She studied business at North Carolina A&T, Aggie, right? She has been a software engineer working in the technology industry for 10 years. Falon has also taught kids how to code and mentored students for the past 5 years. She is also a speaker that discusses entrepreneurship and technology. She now teaches women how to start their own profitable tech business in 60 days with her coaching program, Fearless Tech Entrepreneur. So we'll definitely dive into that because y'all know I'm all about these side hustles. But before we get into that, hey, Falon, how are you today?
Hey, how's it going? I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You are the GOAT here locally. So it is my honor. Right? It is my honor. So before we get into the program and how people can step into this space, I just wanted to ask, what made you decide to step into the space of being in tech? Because I know, we're very underrepresented, just like finance. So what made you make the decision to step in?
Yeah, we are very underrepresented, but I was fortunate. Back when I was in high school, I had the opportunity to work an internship at the information technology department in my city where I grew up. And it just so happened that the CIO, the chief information officer, was a Black woman, right? She was very helpful, very sweet, had a big, awesome office. And I was like, this is something I could want for me, So yeah, that was kind of my first introduction into tech. And from there, I just continued to grow my skills, right? Working for tech companies, learning how to code myself, building websites and, just stacking my skills and continue to learn and grow. So it kind of happened very organically. I wasn't like, I'm going to be in tech. It just really is very fortunate that's the way that my life went. But there's a big push now to move into tech. And there's so much money out there, so I understand it.
Right, absolutely. And I love that story because that's why representation matters, right? Because you were able to see someone that looks like you in the space and you're like, oh, so I can do this. And then you decided to do it yourself. So hopefully our conversation here today inspires some other female Black entrepreneurs to get out there and do this thing too. So with that being said, now, I know you because, you're local and we've bumped into each other plenty of times. And, the software, mobile app, website development space, how did you decide, okay, this is the niche that I want to go and this is how I want to help people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a great question. So I was in telecommunications and IT, so doing a whole lot with, routing and switching and, the physical boxes and stuff like that, which is, it was fun for a little while, but I was like, okay, I really need to kind of broaden my horizons here. So then I ended up going to basically a coding boot camp for 3 months and just completely immersing myself in how to learn how to code. So I could make that next step, right? So, and that's exactly what I did. Did that. And then after that, I went and worked at Red Hat, which is a software company in Raleigh. So I worked as a software engineer there. But, I would moonlight, just building websites, WordPress websites for friends and family. They'd be like, oh, you do it. Yeah, make mine. So, that's how the word kind of got out about my skills and, continued to grow from there. So once I left, Red Hat, then I was able to jump directly into my business because I had already, built up a repertoire. I already had, testimonials and past work, a portfolio that I could show people. So that was a good way of transitioning and being able to, hit the ground running instead of, leaving your job and, like Beyonce say, just quit your job, It's like, but you need to have, the bills don't stop. That's the problem.
Yes. And I'm so glad you brought that up because that's exactly what I did too. Because I was in HR and I stayed in my HR job until I built up Money Talk with Tiff. And then I decided to do it full time. And so hearing you say the exact same thing, I'm like, y'all, this the secret sauce. Like, if you want to be a successful full-time entrepreneur, you need to stay at the day job, use that money to build up your passion, build up what you're trying to build, and then also build your clientele base, because as Falon will probably attest, entrepreneurship is not easy. Like she said, the bills keep coming. So, you want to make sure that you're not clouding your creativity by worrying about bills and stuff. So anywho, thank you for sharing that, because I feel like that is a gem in of itself that, if people don't learn from me, please learn from other successful entrepreneurs as well. Keep your day job until you're ready. So with that being said, the program that you offer now to help other women get into tech, this is something that they can do with their current job, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. They can absolutely get started without having to leave their job, right? Because there's what I call a transitional period, right? So there's things that you need to do anyway for all businesses, right? You need to set up your LLC. You need to, start deciding what your offering is going to be. You need to build up your logo, right? There's so many things that a business has to do before it can just hit the ground running and start making money. So you might as well still be at your, job with money coming in while you're doing all that foundational stuff. So that when you are ready to, boom, start sending out those invoices, like you said, getting clients coming in, then you're already ready, and we teach them how to do that as well. Networking, going out, getting clients, finding, human resources, people to actually do the work so that you can delight your clients and get comeback clients. We teach them how to do all of that. But yeah, the idea is, there's a transitional period where they build the foundation, for the first 60 days. And then that last 30 days, you're hitting the ground hard, getting clients so that you can leave your job the next month. So that's the idea.
Awesome. So just based on what you said, it sounds like the program is all encompassing. So you're going from, okay, this is what you need to get started. This is how you find clients. This is how you kind of market yourself. This is how you do this, do that. It sounds like it's all encompassing. Now, does this also include like coding basics and things like that? Or is it just being like what I consider like the quarterback?
Yep. So it is the quarterback, right? So I'm trying to get as many women into tech as possible. And that's one of the things, actually, I'm glad you mentioned it, that stops a lot of women. Like, oh, I don't know how to code. I don't want to learn how to code. They say it takes forever. They say it's hard. But the tech industry has so many jobs in it. Everybody is not a coder. Everybody can't be, right? You have HR people, you have marketing people, you have design, people who actually make the interfaces. There's so many different facets of it. But what I teach is how to be the entrepreneur or, the maestro, the person who's in charge and running all of those activities. The CEO, basically. Like I'm teaching you how to be a tech CEO, right? So, it's good to have information and industry knowledge to know what your employees are going through, but you don't have to know exactly what they do on a day-to-day basis, right? So the idea is that you don't have to know how to code. So we don't teach that, but I teach them how to find great coders and then how to, build out software to delight their clients.
Awesome. Yes, because before we hit record, we had a brief conversation. I told you I had started a digital marketing firm. And, it's just something that I've always been interested in. But that's another side of tech as well. So it's so many different facets that this can cover. And what Falon is teaching you is how to be the CEO of whatever facet you decide that you want to go into, as long as it's tech. And I echo her as well. There's a lot of people that need help, tech help out here. I launched that side of the business maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and I already have a great client base, so there's plenty, thank you. There's plenty of space out here, and we're very much needed. So please come join us. So that way we can help other businesses. That's pretty much what we're offering is a business service. We can help other businesses, reach their next level and so on and so forth. So, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And, I'm gonna edit out the bloopers, but in between there, Falon helped me with that quote. So that just goes to show that, we need each other. So with that being said, as far as the program is concerned, though, because this sounds very, very interesting. And I know there's a lot of people listening that want to be entrepreneurs or need another side hustle. And this sounds like something pretty simple that they can get into. What would you say is the time commitment to go through the program and get everything up and running?
Yeah, so I would commit at least 10 hours a week, right? So, and that can totally be done, right? If you just do, 2 hours a day on weekdays, you know what I mean? Or just a large chunk of time on the weekend, right? If you're truly committed, you're going to find those 10 hours, right? Because you're doing 10 hours doing something, whether it's watching TV or Netflix or, scrolling through the feed. I mean, there's 24 hours in a day. That time is going somewhere. So it might as well be built, trying to build a better life for yourself, because ultimately that's what you want, right? If you're interested in my program, most likely you are a woman who is somewhere in the tech industry, but, you're kind of stuck there. Maybe you don't like what you're doing. You're like, man, I wish I just had my own thing so I didn't have to come to the office, but that's not going to happen if you don't make a change, right? So, and I think 10 hours a week is more than reasonable to change your life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And since you're teaching people how to be the quarterback, I assume even if they don't really know too much about tech, they can still hop into this program and learn enough.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So you really don't have to be into tech. So you just have to be interested in it. Right. So you can't get into an industry and say, well, I don't know anything about tech and I don't want to know. Like, you have to have industry knowledge. Right. And we totally teach all that. And then teach them where to go, like conferences, what type of publications to listen to and to watch. We definitely can get them up to speed. But the most important thing to know is that you don't have to know how to design. You don't have to know how to code. You just have to be interested in it enough to be able to lead your team, right? We're building, like you said, quarterbacks. We're building great tech leaders here.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm super excited and I definitely want to check it out for my dang self. But if people were interested in finding out more about this program or finding out more about you and your services that you offer, because there might be people listening that just need services, how can they find you?
Absolutely. Well, if you're interested in becoming that fearless tech entrepreneur, you can go to fearlesstechentrepreneur.com. But if you're just interested in services, you're like, yeah, that's great, but I need an app right now. I need a website right now, right? Then you can go to Onyx Ocean Technologies. So that's ONYX Ocean.com. I don't know. It's the signs up here. I don't know if it's backwards or not. But yeah, they can go to onyxocean.com. And if you just want to talk to me, hang out with me, I am on socials at Falon, Falon, the CEO. So Falon, the CEO. So that's where I can be found.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Falon, for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure, and I hope that it inspired someone else to get into the tech industry because we need you. But thank you so much for coming on. It has been my honor and my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to hear about your agency growing. And I may need some services myself. So
okay. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening, joining, and being a part of the Money Talk with Tiff podcast this week. You can check Tiff out every Thursday for a new Money Talk podcast. But if you just can't wait until next week, you can listen to previous podcast episodes at moneytalkwitht.com or follow Tiff on all social media platforms at Money Talk with T. Until next time, spend wise by spending less than you make. A word to the money wise is always sufficient.